7 o'clock. Thanks for joining me here on our Weather Impact Live streaming on 10 Tampa Bay Plus. Jacksonville is Mike Prangley doing his own thing today. They have a weather impact alert for today and for tomorrow. It was one they had yesterday. If you personally know Mike, tell him that I'm upset that he told me he didn't have time for me. I'm just kidding. He's got a lot to talk about over there on the East Coast. We don't have as much here on the West Coast. That is where all our rain is coming from as we go throughout the next 3 days. And it's due to that system, that low that's down to the south, the trough, that is kind of stalled off the coast as well. So definitely the weather in Jacksonville and all the way down through Miami is going to be a lot wetter than what we're going to see here over the course of the next 3 days. But got two separate things to talk about when it comes to your long-term forecast. So let's get to today. Your Sunday's looking pretty good. Take a live look around and you see a few more clouds out there than what we had this time yesterday. Clearwater Beach is looking a little bit better than what we had earlier this morning, but you see downtown Tampa, Armature Works, St. Petersburg. There's Davis Island, and again, you see the clouds. Mostly cloudy to partly sunny is what we're pretty much going to have for the day today. So compared to yesterday, a little bit more clouds, a little bit better rain chance as we go throughout the day. There is St. Petersburg, looking out over the bay to the east, seeing a little bit more blue sky there. There is the airport, again, kind of the same scenario. And it was a cloudy start to the day at Clearwater Beach this morning. Right now, it does look pretty good. Your beach forecast for the day today looks great. If you want to head out there shortly, I would just be ready to pack it up about 4 to 5 o'clock. That's going to be your better chance for rains. Still got another about 4 hours where you're going to be 4 to 5 hours where you're still going to be mostly dry. And again, really just some clouds, so won't be quite as hot. Water temperature 83, UV index is at an 8. And your marine forecast for the next couple of days is going to be just like yesterday. Winds out of the east at 20-25 knots, seas about 2 to 4 feet. The bay is choppy, and we do have the small craft advisory. And the small craft advisory goes all the way through until Tuesday morning. So we're still going to be breezy for tomorrow as well. And we're still looking at a moderate chop Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. But it's going to be shifting from one thing to another. What we're going to have coming in before next weekend is a cold front. So next weekend's going to be nice. Go ahead and make those plans there. UV index is an 8. At water temperature in the Gulf is 83 degrees. So feeling pretty good, actually. Temperatures, we have low to mid 80s across the area, and your dew points are in the 70s. They have been going up. Got a couple of spots. Look at that. Land O'Lakes 78, Bartow 78, even Riverview, St. Petersburg, Tarpon Springs, dew points of 77. Same thing, frostproof. And the humidity trend will trend up just a little bit into Tuesday and then kind of hold in the 70s through Thursday. I'll show you the extended dew point trend here coming up in your extended forecast because things are looking pretty good. Now, your allergy forecast is not too good, medium, and then medium high. Wednesday looks like Thursday, Friday possibly medium high as well, as we don't have really an abundance of widespread rain in the forecast to help us out with some of this stuff. But again, here's our pattern coming in from the east. Again, just like yesterday. We got the cloud cover out there. We have the breezy conditions. Clouds, as you can see, we have some coming in from the southwest, or rain coming in from the east, and not seeing too much now, but Polk and Highlands seeing a few stray showers along that I-4 corridor, again, just like yesterday. And here is your big picture. So what we're looking at is that stalled front that's down to our south. There is a weak area of low pressure. Here you can kind of see the swirl still in the Bahamas. It's a little bit to the west from where it was yesterday. And you also see the swirl on the end here. That's another weak area of low pressure that is bringing all this rain to the northern Gulf Coast. That is going to be moving to the north and northwest and pushing its way into Texas as we go really throughout the day tomorrow. So here's our expected rainfall across the area for today, tomorrow, and for Tuesday. Not too much of a change, but again, a little bit better chance, that 50% really for the evening commute tomorrow. That's going to be kind of the biggest impact. But that 40 to 50%, this is a typical wet pattern that we see here in Florida. The really difference is that we're going to have these breezy conditions. And again, expecting breezy conditions through Thursday. It will go down a little bit for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Instead of 10 to 20 to 25, we're looking at 10 to 15 with some gusts up to about 20. So, but notice Wednesday, it pushes down to the south, and then Thursday, it comes back. Friday looks a lot like that Thursday. I'll show you why right here. So there's your weak area of low pressure that is down to our south. So you see, here's the one that we've been talking about. National Hurricane Center did point this one out as well as this one, but gave them both a 0% chance for potential development. Upper level winds are way too strong for anything to become organized with this. And again, it's part of the front. So not expecting anything out of that. But as we know, lows that are associated with fronts can become tropical if the conditions are favorable, and for this, conditions are not favorable. So as we go throughout the next couple of days, that low moves to the south, and there's your Monday. Again, probably the best chance for the most widespread rain is going to be on Monday afternoon, and then it starts to move to the south on Tuesday. Still got a pretty good chance on Tuesday, but then that front dissipates Wednesday into Thursday. It'll move to the south, all the rain chances on Wednesday. Again, that Thursday, the front is gone, but then here comes the next one. So this is the one that's going to provide us with actually what's going to be a pretty nice weekend. Next weekend, we'll see the chance for a few scattered showers Thursday afternoon and Friday afternoon, but as of now, it looks like Saturday and Sunday should be dry. Very low rain chances, and what's really going to help us out is we talk about fall in Florida might actually feel something next weekend, especially when it comes to how we start our days. Some of these overnight early morning lows are going to be relatively comfortable. We saw a cold front a couple of weeks ago. While Tampa and St. Pete didn't get down to the 60s, everybody else did. And we actually saw some spots along the Nature Coast get in the low 60s. We could see that again, possibly going throughout next weekend into early next week. So here's your futurecast for the course of the next 3 days. Here's this afternoon. Again, going to see some spotty showers and thunderstorms, especially late in the day. And again, the better chance will be pushing to the west of 75, late in the day. So that is a little bit more than what we had yesterday, hence the higher rain chances today. And really same thing Monday. It's going to be nice. We'll see I-95 showers in the morning, crossing over 75 as we go throughout the afternoon, evening commute, and then those will start to break up. And then same thing Tuesday, but rain chances, at least with the coverage, will go down some for Tuesday. So Tuesday not looking too bad. This is the latest forecast model showing things possibly drying out because again, that front is kind of sagging down to the south with that low and then dissipating kind of Tuesday, Wednesday. And then again, Wednesday is going to be our lowest rain chance. So let's go through Tuesday when we talk about the forecasted rainfall. And again, you can see really along the East Coast here, that purple is the 2 inches, and this is widespread 2 inches. Isolated, you can get maybe up to 4 inches. Now, for us, we're not looking at that much in terms of rainfall. You see anywhere from maybe 1/4 to 1/2 inch widespread in some areas, a little bit more than that. And again, this is over the course of the next 3 days. And if you get caught under one of these thunderstorms, we know the locally higher, much higher amounts there in some of these thunderstorms. But this just gives you a broad picture of how much we're expecting for the entire area. And again, none of these days are going to be soakers. You're going to have a wet evening commute tomorrow, and again, probably Tuesday, but not as much activity happening on Tuesday. So look at the moisture content. And again, this is what's going to be nice because we see that system breaking up there. We got Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. That one dissipates, and then we see the little jump there Thursday into Friday. That's why rain chances for Thursday, Friday are going to be lower than what we're going to see for the next 3 days, but they're up there. Thursday into Friday is where we're going to see the better chance to rain. And then look at the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Looks like we could dry out as that cold front pushes down to our south and possibly stalls. We'll see where it goes. So, and here's probably some better news. Look at this dew point forecast. So we'll be in the 70s from today all the way through Friday. Saturday is when that front is going to be pushed to the south. And look at that nice dip, 63. And we might see dew points closer to 60, maybe on Sunday. And then again, we'll push Saturday morning, Sunday morning, we'll see widespread 60s inland. But then possibly on Monday morning, we could see maybe areas around the bay getting down to around 70. We'll see if we can get down to 60 again with this front that's going to be coming through. It does help a lot with that heat index. So the heat index is going to be in the mid to upper 90s all the way through Thursday. And then that front pushes through. And then look what happens Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. We're going to have 86, 87 be your actual temperatures and your heat index forecast, which is nice. So pretty much a non-existent heat index forecast. So go ahead and start to make those plans for next weekend. Again, a beautiful beach day. It's not going to be one of those days where you're going to be all hot and sweaty, want to get in the water, but comfortable to sit outside. You may go do some lunch or some dinner outside for Saturday and Sunday, so that is going to be nice. So here's that 7-day forecast. And again, looking at those rain chances and breezy conditions today and tomorrow. It's still a little breezy Tuesday through Thursday, but it's not quite as breezy as today and tomorrow with those winds gusting into the 20s with that low still down to the south and that stalled front. You can see it does go down there for Wednesday, up a little bit for Thursday, Friday, about 30%. Again, still lower than what it's going to be for the next 3 days because that cold front doesn't look like it has that much moisture in with it. We'll see how far it pushes to the south. As of right now, it looks like it's coming through Saturday, pushing further to the south on Sunday. So Saturday, start the day at 73 and up to 87. And then it looks like forecast models are going a few degrees cooler, maybe 70 to 71. And that again is for Tampa. So you know, if you're 70 degrees in Tampa, you'll be in the low 60s up along the Nature Coast. And again, that's going to be for the weekend. Even Saturday morning, inland areas, we'll see widespread 60s for both Saturday morning, Sunday morning, and possibly again for Monday morning. We'll see where that front goes from there, but it looks like it is going to be pushing its way all the way through as we go throughout the weekend. And again, not only is that going to bring us some nice weather for the upcoming weekend, we know what that does with the tropics. Now again, it's this time of year that we start to see fronts creeping closer to us. It's of course not ordinary for fronts to come through and push all the way down to Miami as we go throughout this time of year, just like what we saw kind of late summer into early fall. And we're going to see that same pattern because on the tropical update, looks like we have a high potential for tropical development out of this that is coming off the coast of Africa. It came off the coast of Africa a couple of days ago. And we're going to see a high chance for development there. So we're going to take a quick break coming up here, and we're going to dive into the tropics and the potential for his 95L. Could be our next named system. More on that coming up after the break.
I was driving when an 18-wheeler turned in front of me. I locked up my brakes, bam, slid dead into the truck. Bloody and hurt, I was loaded into an ambulance, and that's when I put out my phone and called attorney Dan Newton. Dan jumped right on it. He was in my corner the whole way. He fought the fight from beginning to end and got me $1 million.
Involved in a car accident? Call me now at 813-888-8000.
Dan, your awesome team deserves 6 stars. Thank you for winning my case.
Weather impacts your life every day. I'm 10 Tampa Bay Chief Meteorologist Bobby Deskins. You can find out about any change in the weather with our 10 Tampa Bay Plus app. Just stream for the latest forecast, any weather impact alert, updated tropics forecast, and take a live look at the radar. Anytime you want, and it's free. It's just one more way we're helping you stay informed, prepared, and connected. Stream 10 Tampa Bay Plus.
And it's like a movie script. It's family rivalry, betrayal, and murder.
They cover America's most fascinating true crime stories.
One way or another, that's an execution.
Absolutely.
Every case.
Who would want to hurt him?
Every clue.
This is dynamite for an investigator.
Every mystery that keeps you guessing until the very end.
Does everyone's jaws drop?
Dateline, 5 times a week.
Watch weekdays at 4 on 10 Tampa Bay.
Windows are created and installed with different levels of quality. Unique quality that can withstand the tropical climate. Our installers only install PGT custom windows and doors, so we are the go-to experts. Don't take my word for it. We have been named Best of Tampa Bay 3 years in a row, Reader's Choice in Sarasota 3 years in a row, and nationally recognized as Window and Door Dealer of the Year. Price is what you pay, but value is what you get. Give WeatherTight Windows a call today, and don't forget the cookies.
Oh, welcome back. Let's talk about the tropics because, again, we have a new invest area and something, of course, to closely watch as we go throughout this week into early next week. So right now, the National Hurricane Center has given this one a medium chance for tropical development over the next 2 days, a high chance for development over the next 7 days. And forecast models are still not agreeing much. The forecast models that we have that we can look at, some of them not even in our system yet, but of course we can go to some of our weather pages and you can see the AI models, you can see the Euro, you can see the GFS. All of them do agree on the track. Again, the ones that do have this even becoming a system. European doesn't like it just yet, but I'll show you that in just a second. So here's your tropical update. Again, I mentioned earlier this one right here that's kind of off the coast of Texas into Louisiana. Again, that's a 0. We're not worried about that one. That one's going to push its way onshore as we go throughout tonight into tomorrow. What it is, again, is this cluster of disorganized showers and thunderstorms was a wave that came off the coast of Africa a couple of days ago. I think it was like maybe Friday it came off the coast. That's when, of course, they originally pegged this to watch. And again, as of right now, we're looking at 35-mile-per-hour winds moving to the west at 17 miles an hour. You can kind of see with the wind here, kind of a little bit of a very broad circulation with this one. So looks like the environment is going to be pretty favorable as we go throughout early next week into midweek for some slow development. But again, it's moving fast, 17 miles an hour. And our next name on the list is Jerry. We could have Tropical Storm Jerry by the second half of next week, and some forecast models are even taking it to Hurricane Jerry. So we'll see what happens with this one as we go throughout really this week. So again, don't have many models, and this is typical when you initially get an invest in there. It takes some model runs to get all the models in. We don't have many right now. And most of these, the T in the beginning of these stand for trajectory. So again, where the models think this one's going to go. And you get a little bit of a spread here, and that does show what some of the forecast models are saying. Now you do notice that this one bringing it pretty close to the Lesser Antilles, maybe Antigua there. So that is kind of follows along where the GFS model shows. So, and I'll show you that right here. So here is the GFS. The GFS has liked this one a little bit better over the last couple of days than the European model has. And you can see as we go throughout about midweek next week, it starts to bring something in here. So there it is by Wednesday, not really seeing too much. It's really the second half of next week. There it is as we go into Thursday into Friday. We're starting to see a little bit stronger area of low pressure. There it is passing right through, actually, the maybe around Antigua there and the Virgin Islands. So it's going to be pretty close to there. And again, that track could change. But then it brings it a little bit better organized and into a hurricane as we go throughout first part of next week. But you notice how it starts to make that turn up to the north. Here's your forecasted winds. Again, you can see it a little better here. I'll take this cone away, and you're starting to see it there. Even on Monday, breezy. Again, 35-mile-per-hour winds now. So it's not all about the wind speeds. It's, of course, about this becoming better organized, seeing that circulation, and doesn't really get too much better until we get to, again, the end of the week. And there it is. So, again, this is where we're thinking possibly tropical storm. I'll zoom in on this because, and again, this is going to change. But there it is, close to the islands there. And again, Antigua, you got the Virgin Islands right here. Down there is Barbados. So the northern Lesser Antilles, of course, these bigger islands, Puerto Rico, that's the greater Antilles. So it's going to push its way across there possibly. Again, this is just one forecast model, and this is just one run. And so we'll see it continuing to make a turn through the weekend up towards the north. And you see what is right here. This is going to help us. I'll show you that in just a second. But there it is, curving its way out, passing to the east of Bermuda and pushing down towards the east and then southeast. We'll see what happens with that as we go into midweek next week. But again, here's your European model. European model has not liked this one. I'd say the past 3-4 model runs still not showing much of anything when it comes to any kind of circulation here as we go throughout the weeks and not becoming better organized. And there you see, just again, pretty much nothing all the way into early next week. I want to back this up right here, and I want to show you this. Let me put a pause point in here so I can put my pointer on it, because I want to show you this right here. This right here is an area of low pressure that is going to be pushing its way off the coast associated with the cold front that's going to be coming through our area. So I'll go back and show you the European model here that I showed you earlier of the cold front that's coming through here for the weekend, and there it is. If I take this on a little bit further, you can very easily see it. This one. This is the area of low pressure. Now again, this is not tropical. This is associated with that cold front. but this is the one that the European actually likes better to be stronger. Again, not for tropical development, just to be a stronger area, more organized area of low pressure as we go into next week. So let's show you the winds on the European model, and you can again kind of see that pretty well. Again, this one's nothing over there off the coast of Texas, but we take this on over the course of this week, and it does show the winds there. Again, not really showing too much with the circulation. There's all the way through Wednesday, and you can kind of see it underneath here. So this is where, again, it's still showing the wind there, just not showing much. This one passes a little bit further to the north and east of the Lesser Antilles, but you could see there was just nothing. There's nothing as we go throughout the end of this forecast model that, like you saw with the GFS, where it had anything come up here and move out. If you put this back a little bit, you can kind of see the circulation that goes along with that front. And again, that's this right here. This is Saturday. This is the cold front that's going to be moving its way through. So we'll look at the model comparison, and you can see that again, that the GFS likes this one to become a tropical storm possibly by the end of the week, maybe even a depression by midweek. There's your tropical storm as we go through the end of the week and then possibly strengthening up, but you just don't see anything yet with the European model. We'll watch that. And then lastly, I'll show you here, and it's going to be the wind shear. You can easily see the cold front that's coming through here, which is really going to help. This is the same thing we saw with Imelda, really, and Umberto, as those stayed well away from the coast, but they'll get picked up. So here we go as we go throughout your Wednesday. And then there's Friday, and again, not seeing much, but again, stopping it here to point this out, this big trough coming through here. And look at those wind speeds. So as we go into the weekend, there's next week. And again, your GFS model by then has this system up in here. Still a little bit of shear, but really, again, it's this trough that is going to help steer this away from the coast. And that right there is what the models are picking up on right now when it comes to steering. So again, we'll keep a very close eye on this one as we go throughout the week. We're going to another quick break, and we'll look at our extended tropics forecast coming up.
Weather impacts your life every day. I'm 10 Tampa Bay Chief Meteorologist Bobby Deskins. You can find out about any change in the weather with our 10 Tampa Bay Plus app. Just stream for the latest forecast, any weather impact alert, updated tropics forecast, and take a live look at the radar. Anytime you want, and it's free. It's just one more way we're helping you stay informed, prepared, and connected. Stream 10 Tampa Bay Plus.
Jeopardy is for everybody.
That's amazing. Oh, yeah.
With players just like you.
Paramedic, a retired teacher, psychiatrist.
I'm a little bit competitive.
That's the spirit.
Watch their victories.
We have a giant killer.
And heartbreaks.
Oh, no.
The next super champion could be anyone.
It's almost like a superhero origin story.
It could be you.
Oh, wow.
It's all happening on Jeopardy.
Jeopardy weeknights at 7:30 right here on 10 Tampa Bay.
I was driving when an 18-wheeler turned in front of me. I locked up my brakes, bam, slid dead into the truck. Bloody and hurt, I was loaded into an ambulance, and that's when I put out my phone and called attorney Dan Newton. Dan jumped right on it. He was in my corner the whole way. He fought the fight from beginning to end and got me $1 million.
Involved in a car accident? Call me now at 813-888-8000.
Dan, your awesome team deserves 6 stars. Thank you for winning my case.
Before hurricane season hits, it's time to prep your home. Secure outdoor equipment and generators. Clear debris from around your AC unit and schedule a pre-storm HVAC and electrical inspection.
Those are some great tips. And Cool Today is here to help you weather the storm. For over 60 years, we've been here to help Floridians with their cooling, plumbing, and electrical needs. We can help you prepare, protect, and repair your home. Call 888-40
Now, welcome back really quick. We're going to take a look at our extended tropics forecast over the course of the next couple of weeks, kind of where we're going to be shifting our focus as we go throughout the second half of next week and then the week after that. Let's recap so far what we've had for the 2025 hurricane season. 9 named storms, 4 hurricanes. And again, first time since 1935, our first 3 hurricanes were also major hurricanes. And only the first time since the early 30s that we've had back-to-back years with 2 or more Cat 5 storms, and that was this year and again last year as well. So where we are sitting at hurricane season, you can see here we already hit that peak, which is close to a month ago. Today is the 5th, and there we are in the month of October where the activity starts to really go down. And again, season ends November 30th, so still the bulk of almost 2 months still to go in hurricane season. And typically what we do for this time of year, we start to shift our focus out of what's called the MDR, the main development region, and we move it over into the Caribbean, into the far western Atlantic, Bahamas area. And this is where we are going to be shifting our focus as we go throughout again, slowly over the next couple weeks. This is mid to late October is where we typically see this. We get less storms, which means lower wind shear, which does help out when it comes to development for these tropical systems. So again, this track looks very familiar with Hurricane Ian, that of course was before this time, a couple of years ago. But kind of same thing with Helene developing in this area. So, and even over here, it's still likely pretty much anywhere in the Gulf, just most likely in the Western Caribbean, again, up to the Bahamas to get these lows to develop. You'll get a cold front come through, it will stall, a low will develop, and then we'll see that turn tropical over these very warm waters. So that is, again, the reason why we have our focus in this area. And the tropical heat potential, and again, this is the forecast where the tropical heat potential is moving out of the